Hello everybody, and welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast, number 153 tonight. I am Wadabra, and here with me tonight I have Zap45.
Hey everybody.
Whoopwave.
Hello.
And Teejin Lee.
Hello.
How are you all lovely people tonight? Are you all lovely?
As far as I know.
It's fabulous.
I'll give a shout out to the silent Chaos Mana who is streaming this for us. Thank you, Chaos. You're an angel. Hush,
Chaos,
hush.
don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Don't say a goddamn thing.
Say something.
Dude, fuck
just to
everything
screw with them.
Oh my god, yeah, we can just tease him the entire time.
That'd be the best.
He doesn't know the call. He totally can't boot me.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Chaos?
No one will know if we're laughing at ourselves or if we're actually laughing at what he said, because the world will never know!
For context, he's just streaming the podcast right now and listening to us banter.
Yeah, like a good silent person should. So anyway, we were talking beforehand, and I think we decided to start our conversation off with a Kickstarter horror story. We love to hear about those. Zach, you seem to be the most knowledgeable about this. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
So, Kotaku released a article that said something along the lines of, successful Kickstarter ends in a payment disaster. So after I read the article, it turns out that the Kickstarter went well. They got all the money they need to make the game, and they're like, okay, we're going to wrap it up. Well, good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. They wake up the next day, and it turns out 700 of the 900 donations, not the dollars or the monies, donations went missing or were declined. And then after the release of this article, Kickstarter got in contact with the game developers, AI Pixel Games, and was like, don't you worry, we're going to take care of you. And then they got the money back, and then Kickstarter told Kotaku that they're excited to play the game, and the game's name is... Yeah,
that was like my next question. I'm like, what the fuck is this game called?
It's called A Place for the Unwilling, is the game.
That sounds like the position they were just put in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They didn't even know they were making their own pun.
Yeah, that's kind of... it's the beauty in that irony. Yeah.
So is this a well-known company?
No, I think it's just a startup indie company.
I mean, yeah, if
so
their
first ever project flops, almost.
Yeah, that's not a good start for anybody.
So was the 700 donations, was it just 700 people that charged their credit card without the ability to, or why did they disappear?
The
money doesn't get charged until it's funded, so those transactions didn't happen.
The donations were denied by Kickstarter, is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there was some sort of hack or something like that, because I know I was recently contacted by Visa about one of my credit cards, and they're like, we're going to replace your shit just because we were informed that a whole bunch of accounts may or may not have been compromised. So here's a shiny new card for you. I'm like, oh, that's comforting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know what it probably was? It was probably over the period of the Kickstarter. 700 people were like, yeah, I'll give you $20. And then once it gets funded, like, we did it, and it charges the accounts, it's like, oh, 700 people don't have $20 in their bank account.
Because all those cards were canceled and replaced with new ones.
That's possible, but I mean, it's probably more likely that people put their mouth where their money wasn't.
I mean,
so on that point,
I
have a really, really good business idea, guys.
Mm-hmm. Shoot.
Oh. Is this how we're going to make our millions?
This is where we make our billions.
Billions, dude.
It's called Dickstater.
All right.
I like this already.
Porns. People fun filming for porn.
Oh, like amateur porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Dickstater. People donate.
We need to afford Lisa Ann or Gigiana Michaels.
Guys, we have a parody idea for the new Star Wars movie, but we need $3,000 to hire who the fuck ever and whatever his name is.
We can
and
make our own
effects.
TFT
and the orchestra.
porno calendar.
Oh my god. This is all under the TFT Lays branch. That's the moneymaker. We really need to get going with that idea because that's where the money is to be made.
Screw the 5 cents we made from TFT Plays. That TFT Lays is where it's at.
Definitely.
Donate $50, get a branded dildo or a fleshlight.
What movie was that?
Branded dildo.
Where wasn't the one with Zac Efron and what's his name? Like some of them being neighbors. Where they made molds of their penises and then made dildos. We could do that. We could sell dildos.
We could do that.
Modeled after our own penises.
No, nobody wants our penises. Celebrity penises. Say we got celebrity people to donate their penises.
Okay, so
stuff.
we mold our own penises and then pick
Brad
a celebrity
Pitt's
at random and say, okay, this one belonged to Jeff Goldblum 20 years ago.
When you turn it on, does this go?
No, it has a little a voice chip to it. It just does that every single time.
It just says something like and and then it waits.
Sued by Jeff Goldblum to be real though.
Nature finds a way.
Oh my god, these are all such good ideas.
Well, hire
writing this down.
Voice imitator, like that one time where Chaos hired that fake what was the actor?
Freeman?
Morgan Freeman, yeah, where he hired fake Morgan Freeman to do that commercial for us. Like, we can totally hire a fake actor to impersonate someone else's voice, put it in the chip inside the dildo, and have it talk to you while you're fucking yourself. This is foolproof.
Now
I think that is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree
Somebody will
with you.
buy it, though.
And I'll have a mute option.
Yeah.
No. Always Jeff Goldblum.
All dildos are Jeff Goldblum.
Even when it's turned off, it just speaks, and people will come over to your house and like, "What is that?" And you're like, "It's nothing." It's like, "Why is it coming from your sock drawer?" It's nothing.
It's nothing. Please
stop.
That's
not Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum in your sock drawer right now?
So back to the place of For the Unwilling real quick. I just want to let you know that it was a narrative adventure game where the city is the actual protagonist. Like, the city is the protagonist. No puzzles or game over screens, just you, the city, and the dozens of stories which are taking place in there. Days pass and the fate of the city is yet to be decided.
You know what Kickstarter I want to see succeed and then play is what is it called? I'm failing at this. It's about the little lizard. It's from the Banjo and Kazooie team members from Rare. Ukulele. Yes.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, because it was like kind of like a banjo, but ukulele.
It's a spiritual successor to
Yes,
Banjo.
it looks so good.
It went from 3 of the original Rare staff to 4 or 5 or something. So that'll be cool.
Because Microsoft wasn't treating the old girl right. They had to go and do themselves.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did any of you, ever hear of the Kickstarter scandal with Ant Simulator? I believe it was a game.
I'd love to
it was
play that game, though.
I don't remember the exact number of people, but it was let's say 3 people. Start a game company, and they're like, we're going to make this game Ant Simulator. They get a bunch of money, a couple thousand, right? And then one of the developers goes, we have no money. People go like, what? And he goes, my friends, who I thought were friends for the last 10 years, took all the money, spent it on booze and strippers, and now we have no money for the game. And he goes, I want to be in this business and be an actual game developer, so I'm still going to work on it, but that's what happened.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
I would love to play Ant Simulator. That sounds like an actually interesting game.
They already had Sim Ants.
Yeah, but Sim
40
Ants
years
sucks.
ago.
Yeah. Sim Ants sucks.
You got to invade people's houses and make them be uncomfortable about you taking over their house and the yard and everything. How could you top that?
I don't know.
By it being better? A third person or first person
booze and strippers, maybe?
Ants was better than an ant life.
I saw a trailer for this ant simulator thing a little while ago, and all it really showed was an ant walking around on some leaves and some dirt.
That is what ants do.
Yeah, totally not interested in that at all.
Well, dude, it's that's probably even pre-alpha footage. You gotta give the... And it was, at that point, one dude, because his friends left him for booze and strippers, so... Think about it that way.
See, that's why I haven't started TFT Lays.
And Tejan, Did we just agree on something just earlier? You thought Ants was better than Bugs Life? Is that what I'm?
Yeah,
that's what I'm
we agree on all the time, all the stuff like your hair. We all think it's awesome.
I mean, yeah, but we disagree on like, cake and pie and various other things. But I'm glad.
I mean, the most important things, yeah.
Two mortal enemies coming together.
I don't know.
Yeah,
See,
to agree that
I kind of like
one Ant movie is better than the other one.
I liked A Bug's Life better than Ants because A Bug's Life was clearly not going for any sort of like accuracy, whereas like whereas Ants was like trying a little too hard to be accurate and therefore like made itself even less accurate, and it was just like distracting.
Ants was fucked up though. Like there's that thing where he gets shipped off to the military and they fight termites, and it's like a kid's version of Starship Troopers.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it was super dope. I'm like, I had no idea ants had fights with termites all the time. I should be more aware of my surroundings.
Yeah,
they hate each other.
No.
Also, apparently termites spit acid.
Acid?
Yeah. They do, I believe, to break down the wood and stuff.
To break down the wood, yeah.
Or was it Bug's Life where they had the wasps?
That was Ants.
Ants.
Okay, because I didn't get that joke until much later in my life. I'm like, ha, wasps.
Now I get it.
I will give them props.
Same here.
I will give them props, though. They did make the size distinction between all the different insects in ants much more accurate than what they did in A Bug's Life.
Yeah, that's true. But I felt like Ants wasn't really trying to be accurate. I just felt like it was doing its own thing.
They went through the
fun
visual
bug
trouble
movie.
of like giving all the ants 6 limbs and trying to like make the colony feel like it was like an actual functioning thing, but then they got so much shit wrong.
It did come into a movie to learn
I don't know.
about
It's just
ants,
because the look they were going for was supposed to be like, okay, so A Bug's Life is really colorful, pastels, like anthropomorphic ants. Like, they're doing kind of like a Disney style anthropomorphic animal, but instead of fuzzy animals, you have ants. So like just looking at the character models, I'm like, okay, we're clearly in the realm of fantasy here, but with ants, they're going for a more realistic look of everything and like accurate-ish ant bodies. That's so fair. Like I was kind of expecting them to go a little bit further with the ant-ness of it, and they're like, oh, they're just kind of doing the same thing A Bug's Life did, but with a more realistic look to it. So it was way more distracting because I actually know how ant colonies work, and the whole time I'm watching them, like, this is so ridiculous.
I spent 3 years living in an ant
It was
hostel.
always supposed to be.
I mean, I can understand your perspective. I just don't empathize it, if you get what I'm saying.
I can't understand it at all.
I know you don't care about my feelings.
No. I mean, it's just because they came out nearly at the same time, Ants and Bug's Life. It's just like, as a kid, I really enjoyed Ants because I just enjoyed it. I don't know what to say. I mean, I like Bug's Life too, but nowhere near as much as I like Ants. But
Bug's Life 2 is not as good as Bug's Life 1, though.
They didn't make a sequel.
There was a 2?
No.
You said I like Bug's Life 2.
Let's kickstart Ants 2.
Ants 2 with Sylvester
Ants
Stallone.
again. We have Ants again. This is how we got Ants.
Yeah. This is
no,
how we got Ants.
They can reboot anything they want as long as we get our Incredibles 2.
We do not need to reboot Ants.
But speaking of Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, there was a crowdfunded game I've been following for the last 3 months, and we are actually filming something in it. It is called Panzer Models, which I believe is German for tank models or something like that.
Tank models?
Anyone want to take a guess, that's not Zach, at what this game is about?
Tank models?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Kickstarter game, so it's got to be goofy. It's not just warfare. It's got to be something else.
You're on the right track, Warmer.
And you guys are doing voice acting for it.
Yes.
Are you speaking at... Is it like Thomas the Tank Engine, but tanks?
No.
That's my guess, so I spoiled my guess.
Okay,
Duck,
well,
you have
what
any
about
guesses?
you, Dirk? Do you have a guess?
No.
You are
I worked hard for my guess.
young military cadet. This is a visual novel, by the way. You are a young military cadet going to tank school. When you get there, you realize it's not tank school where you learn to drive tanks. It's a school for tanks. And it is a bunch of anime high school girls that are tanks. And that is the game.
Okay,
Where you
all right.
romance
Is
World
it like
War
a...
II era
That hurt my
fighting
head,
vehicles.
listening to you explain. Can you do it again less stupidly?
You know how to
literally
call
read
boyfriend
the game
with
information.
but instead of pigeons, the World War II era fighting vehicles.
Yeah. So like it's like Hatoful Boyfriend but with tanks.
Okay, it's not like what's the anime where the people turn into the weapons?
Transformers?
No.
Sure.
It's an anime. It's so it's Transformers. It's fairly new. Soul something.
Soul Eater. There
Soul
you go.
Eater. Is it like that? Do they transform into the
No,
tanks?
no,
Or are they just the tanks?
They're just anime girls that are also tanks, I guess.
Do they
The
look
tanks-
like anime girl tanks? Or
No,
are
they
they
just
just
look
tanks
like
that talk like
anime-
anime girls?
They're just anime schoolgirls that are tanks.
The
They look like
anime
anime
schoolgirls
schoolgirls, but-
are the avatars for the tanks.
Chaos says they're cyborgs with personalities.
I don't
To
think
their
that's true.
real-world
At least
counterparts.
that makes some sort of sense versus they're Skullgirls, but they're tanks.
No, they're schoolgirls, but
they're
they're tanks. They're not cyborgs.
No, they're tanks, but the schoolgirls are the cadets.
Is there a
the
link
way
to a
the cadet
trailer
sees them.
somewhere? Can
Now,
you?
if you let
give
me
that-
fucking finish,
No, I need visuals. Yeah,
All right, hold up.
please.
I'll give you some visuals.
Ooh, it's really.
I'm like,
Are you and I gonna be the first one to make a porno for TFT Lays?
Damn it! I
There you go.
forgot. I forgot.
But yeah,
Parody of this game.
the game
yes.
is actually quite fucking funny.
Yeah.
Me and Chaos have been doing, going through it and voice acting the different parts, and it has actually been quite a blast.
I can't wait for it to come out.
There's very many subtle references to history in the game, like all the German tanks are obsessed with the occult, like the Thule Society in Nazi Germany, and they try to have a bake sale, and the main character's like, "Wait, you guys are going to use ovens? No."
That's
Okay,
clever.
that is pretty good. That's nice
That
and
is
subtle.
clever.
Like you said, like the pigeon game, like that had some good writing to it.
Dude,
Yeah.
that last playthrough of the pigeon game really did actually. We like,
You
whoa.
guys got like emotional stuff.
Yeah. It's a
When
journey.
the one pigeon like dies, that's sad.
Yeah.
Is it the fat pigeon?
No,
He was
that
my
pigeon's
favorite.
actually a villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think your voice for him was my favorite part.
Rip Alan Rickman.
Oh.
But yeah, Panzer Medals is very fun and very
Yep.
silly.
When do you guys start releasing episodes of your voiceovers?
I have to do the editing of it. It's like we got like 4 hours of footage for the first playthrough, so
Nice.
it'll take a bit. But yeah,
Stay tuned, listeners.
yeah.
stay
You want to see us date tanks? Of course you do.
I'm pointing at you with finger guns.
Who would? I mean,
Pew,
don't
pew.
do that.
Finger guns?
If we were in high school right now, you'd be arrested, Tejan,
Finger guns?
with
Yeah,
your
man.
finger
Not-
guns.
What? How is that?
It's the
Scandalous.
society we live in, man.
This is dude. The things that were okay,
But that's what cowboys did. They used the finger guns. Like, hey, this guy, partner.
and then they get
point their
arrested
finger
by
guns
the
at them
PC
instead of the real
police.
guns.
Yeah.
Because they're civil.
Because
Cowboys
back
pretty
then,
civil.
you didn't have here now we kind of don't have like a whole lot of shit to worry about. I mean, we have the news that's like, oh, the world's ending every day, but in reality, it's pretty okay. But back then, it's like, oh, my baby wasn't eaten by a wolverine. I don't care if this guy does finger guns at me. Today was a
Yeah,
good day.
finger guns.
That's why you point your finger guns at the Wolverine.
Actually, it was
Yeah.
more like my baby didn't die from some sort of horrible disease. today.
Cholera.
I guess
You
it's
know.
a win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know what pisses people off? Just like say you're like pointing. People hate it when you point in their direction. Like people
Why?
get fucking pissed sometimes.
people?
Like
I've never
I was
met
pointing to
people
something the other day to Holly,
Yes.
and the guy gives me a look. I'm like, I'm not pointing at you. Does it look like I'm pointing at you? Like I didn't say that, but I'm like, no,
I
over
would
there,
have.
I'm pointing to that thing. But people can get like really fucking pissed about you pointing in their direction.
Or
Well,
if
at
you're
least you're
looking in a
pointing.
direction.
At least you're pointing in a direction. Like sometimes when Ken and I are out, he actually straight up points at people. I'm like, Ken, stop pointing at that
Yeah,
person.
don't do that. Don't be too obvious about it. If you want to point, you just like do the underhand point thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
the
he's like not
underhand
even.
point thing.
He's not even subtle
Like-
about it. Once he's had a drink, he's like stands up, turns around, and points. I'm like, what are you doing?
That fucker over there.
Don't talk.
Yeah,
Don't
and then you
point
start-
at the person you're trying to talk
Fight me.
about.
Yeah, I've met people like Ken where they have like one drink and it's like all of a sudden they're Superman and they start pointing and talking and be like, that shithead over there isn't wearing the right dress, or their shirt's crooked or something. It's always it's for whatever reason. It's always
That
a
shithead
girl.
over there is wearing a blue and a black dress.
It's like a blue and black dress. You know, white and gold is in this season, bitch. It's
You
like,
don't even know
whoa,
what dress
calm
you're wearing
down,
right now.
Veronica.
I feel like pointing at people has the same effect of just looking in a direction because there's nothing going on, and then someone like walking into your view, and then like looking at you because they think you're looking at them.
And then it
You
gets
know what I mean?
awkward.
Yeah.
And, like you both look away. It's weird.
There's a
This
couple.
guy I work with, but he takes the same train as me, and we just never talk. And I've been working at this place for 7 months, and he sits relatively close to me. Like I could engage him in conversation if I wanted, but I just don't. And now it's becoming like weird. Like I'm not like it's going to become obvious that I'm like we see each other every day. I should just talk to you, but like we don't.
Why?
It's just like one of the like we lock eyes and we're like hey, and then that's it. Like
Why?
what if we eventually become like friends and then we're like funny like oh remember like how we just were on the train for a year, we just never fucking said anything to one another even though we made eye contact every single day.
Maybe he just longingly enjoys
friend?
staring into your eyes
I think he just wants no.
wistfully.
I mean he must be friends with this all of this.
He wants
Thing he does
Tejan
himself.
D.
Is that his porn name for TFT Lays?
Yes.
It is now. It is
Oh my
now.
God.
I
That's pretty
bequeath you the Tejan Lee as porno star Tejan D.
D. I like it.
Ooh, you touch my Tejan
All right,
D.
so back to that. Okay, so remember Dickstater? Remember that conversation from like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So there's a thing called Dickstarter. You
What?
guys want me to read you
It already
the
exists?
description? All right. It was actually a Kickstarter called Dickstarter. So here's the article. The Kickstarter phenomenon, which once promised a bright new future of crowdfunded business and ideas, appears to now be in full parody mode. After the exhausting potato salad saga, which raised $40K to make a man at lunch, comes a new project by one Alex Wong to gather funds to produce the biggest drawing of a penis in the world.
Oh damn.
The world's biggest dick drawing Kickstarter, aka Dickstarter, has already met its goal 4 times over with $436 in funding from 32 backers.
Jesus Christ.
Here's
32?
a quote from the guy. I want to make the world's biggest dick drawing. With your help, I will be able to create a wonderful and long drawing of the male anatomy. This is
While
both a
traveling
personal
the world.
project rooted in my childhood dreams, as well as a collaborative project to spread awareness and understanding of our bodies.
What is it? $400 you got?
You got $432.
I feel like if you wanted to, you could just aim for like a bigger goal. But if you're like, yeah, I'll use a laser to draw a dick on the moon.
That'll be the next thing that they do.
Oh
No, you
god.
gotta-
No one
fuck
really
you,
owns.
you
You need slightly more than
generations.
$432, though.
You got to start small and work your way up. Next time, it'll be the moon.
Exactly.
Do you guys want to know that top $200 pledge?
Sure.
It's called The Forsaken. Add a foreskin to the head of the world's biggest dick drawing. Very rare and exclusive to one pledge. One of a kind Forsaken Dickstarter shirt included.
Speaking of
Poo-poo.
Disney movies, like the previously mentioned Bug's Life, this thing.
Yeah, Zootopia. Dark, take it away.
Yeah, so, this wasn't specifically about Zootopia, but they used it to start a study because anyone that has seen the movie knows that it's one of the reasons why a lot of critics are loving it is because it has a very nuanced portrayal of the harmful effects of otherizing other people, groups, that sort of social stigma, but instead of it being different colors of people, it's different species of animals, so you can get away with a whole lot by making things fuzzy and cute. But it does touch on some social issues there. And this particular study was kind of about trying to, how did it phrase it? Something along the lines of making movies for children more complex and smarter and adding more narrative complexity to children's movies in order to better represent socioeconomic classes.
Yeah.
So kind of a weird thing to tie into Zootopia, because if you've seen it, it's awesome and kind of really lighthearted despite its heavy-hitting issues. But this article goes on to talk about how they dissected 100 different G-rated children's movies, and where there were human-ish characters, and they pretty much all of them were either rich characters or upper middle class characters. So just, on the border of being rich.
Yeah.
And most of them were from Disney or Pixar because, if you're looking for children's entertainment, it's either that or some of those like 1980s Don Bluth films. And even though they're awesome, there's not that many of them.
Yeah.
Kind of a small pool there. But I think it's a really interesting idea. I'm definitely for it. We need to definitely represent more types of people in our children's entertainment. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I mean, I think these movies back in the day, they did touch on things like this. They touched on like things like themes like death a little bit more too. It's just like
Yeah.
there was a huge, I guess, I don't know, just over the 90s and the early 2000s, things just went more franchisey and more like, okay, we can't make this too serious because we want to sell more.
Because
of it.
we want to make more money.
So it has to be easy, collectible. Like same with like Pokemon. Pokemon like has like no fucking death in it or like any serious issues like whatsoever in it.
Yeah.
But they got to make it like
Pokemon Origin.
sellable, and so like it's easier to sell something simple than something complex. And the Zootopia seems like, I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds like a nice refresher of that. Like people are, it's good. It's great because it's good for all ages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think people are embracing that a lot more.
One of the interesting things this article brought up, first of all, the exact numbers. So out of the 100 children's movies they surveyed, 4% could be classified as poor, in comparison to about 25% of American children who would be considered poor based on their family's income. So the article goes on to talk about how, these films are encouraging the old school traditional like American dream, rags to riches type thing, where, if you're a good person and believe in yourself, then you're gonna, good things are gonna come your way and you're gonna be rich one day. And we all know that's not exactly a realistic expectation and could be kind of setting up, your child for unrealistic expectations with what they can achieve. Like, you should encourage your children to be, creative and everything, but at the same time, if you set your goals so high to where they're unrealistic, you're like, you kind of need some inspiration from other places too.
I think there's fair things there to set like aspirations, stuff like that. Set like, like there's a reason to want to achieve success and stuff like that, and to pursue your interesting goals and stuff like that, because you can find success, and this is kind of what success looks like. But they have to emphasize that it's hard. It's not easy. You don't just get born into it. You have to work hard at something.
You don't walk into success.
Yeah.
And when this is the only measure of success that you have, that if you're a kid and you're watching this, it's the only measure of success that you know of. So if you're not aware that, hey, there's other ways of going about being successful in my life, then you may never actually take hold of them. Like having the main character in Zootopia want to be a police officer, I thought was really refreshing, because she's not going to be, a princess or something in another castle, but she's going to have a lot of self-respect. She's going to give it her all. She's going to fulfill her dream. And even though, it's kind of a cliche, kid wanting to be a police officer, like it's more realistic, and it's something that it's easier to relate to, and you're like, I could do that. What's stopping me from reaching my goal? What is it that I want to do? I really like that.
Yeah. It's interesting that a lot of those old movies, the final goal would be to become royalty or to become rich, not to necessarily find happiness or
accomplish something.
Yeah, or goals that aren't Disney goals. I don't know how to put it that way. You know what I mean? Where it's like find love, find money. And
well, some of them are even like retelling of like old history and stuff like that. Like American Tail. That's a bunch of mice from Europe that are traveling over to the United States like immigrants. It's basically like symbolism in that. So it's like retelling that kind of story. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like those kind of things are refreshing. But again, that's achieving the American dream. It's like, but during that timepiece.
The article also goes on to talk about how the working class is often portrayed in these types of films too, particularly Disney films. And if you notice, like with Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, where the dwarves like work in a gem mine, which by nature, anyone that works in and around a mine, it's a really dangerous job. But they're singing all day long, and they seem to be really happy and jolly. Well, except for Grumpy, but that's just his character trait. But and like in Beauty and the Beast, all the servants, they all seem to be, really happy being servants. It's like they find that fulfillment in their life. And so in a lot of these movies, like, people in the working class don't really have aspirations to be anything else. They're like, oh yeah, I'm happy being a servant. This is what I do. It's awesome. So I don't even know exactly what that says or what they're trying to say, but I just thought it was really quirky, because that's something, all the Disney movies I've watched my entire life, I've never noticed that. And I'm like, that is a really weird phenomenon.
Yeah.
Well, it's like The Lion King, where the person who's trying to break out of their social class is the villain. Scar is
That's
actually the
true.
best character of the movie.
Yeah. Where Scar's just trying to promote socialism and, like, equal rights for all. And he's considered the villain.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
he didn't
interesting.
take into consideration.
He did kill the king.
Yeah, he did kill
Yeah,
the
the
king,
bad guy.
and he didn't take into consideration the delicate balance of life. So,
Yeah, but the delicate
Circle
balance
life,
of life is a caste system. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like, it's interesting that the villain is the one who's trying to break free of the caste system.
yeah, I guess
And-
that's what happens when you anthropomorphize animals. Because then you have to also think, like, in the opening, it shows all those, like, food animals, like, walking up to give homage to their king that's going to make dinner out of
Yeah.
him.
Behold,
like-
you
He
destroyer.
comes this on every other day, but let's go say hi.
It's like, we're gonna pay homage to the new animal that's going to be eating our children, probably, because they don't
that
go
always
after
was weird, man.
their children or their grandparents, because the lions don't go after the healthy ones, they go after the babies, or they go after the old ones. So, like, oh, say goodbye to grandma, kids, she's lunch for the lions today, bye grandma.
Behold, you
She's the
destroyer.
sacrifice.
Yeah, it's
Kind of
very
It's kind of
interesting.
horrifying.
Yeah. It's just, it's another thing I really liked about Zootopia is that it portrayed someone who's like, it showed the journey of what hard work does. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I cleaned somebody's house once and now a slipper fits on my foot. It's more of like the main character
To be fair,
worked
she cleaned the house a
her
lot.
ass off. I mean, true, yeah.
It was
but
her
the
job.
main-
She was a
Yeah.
slave, pretty much.
Basically, true. But yeah, but you get my point, though.
And also
It's like
mentally
you get to
abused.
see. Yeah, true enough.
Fairy
But the
godmother
point-
was actually just an illusion.
Probably.
Maybe.
Like, she's probably actually still trapped inside her room, and everything from that point on is her having a psychotic breakdown, and she
Oh,
just
man.
imagined the whole ending in her head.
Like talking animals, really?
It's
Yeah,
like
now I'm
that
just
theory.
bummed out.
It's like that theory that Ash from Pokemon has been in a coma for like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That's believable.
You can say that about anything ever, though.
No,
Yeah.
it's particularly believable for Ash, because, so I admit, I did just watch a film theory episode about how dangerous Pikachu actually was. And with Ash being
The first
around
episode.
Pikachu and all that voltage, he probably, if he didn't die from it, it's a good chance that he got, like, seriously knocked
He
out,
just-
damaged, and could very well be in a coma, which he cannot wake
He's-
from.
Or he's sitting in a mental health hospital in a wheelchair, drooling on himself.
That explains
Trapped
why
in
he's the
his
same
mind.
age.
Yeah.
He never ages, because he's just a character in his own mind.
Explains
Man,
why every Officer Jenny is Officer Jenny and every Nurse Joy is Nurse Joy.
Yeah.
He never knew any other cops in his life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
any cops or nurses, yeah.
I think
Did
we
we
just
just
solved the
break the
riddle of
code?
Pokemon.
That's why
I think we
Pikachu
did.
never evolves.
Mm-hmm. It's not because Josh is, or not at Josh, Jesus.
It's because when
Not because
Pikachu evolves,
Ash-
that means Ash wakes up, and he doesn't want to wake up.
Yeah. Why do we have to be so depressing all of a sudden? I was talking about working
me up
hard to
inside.
getting your wake me up inside.
I'm working
We're
hard to
talking
crush
about
your
the
dreams.
Disney
That makes me
movies that
happy.
we want it to be more realistic and gritty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I don't think that's what I was saying, but that's
No,
an interesting
I-
interpretation.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much like what DC Comics thought when they're like, hey, the whole Batman thing worked out pretty well. Let's make all the superhero movies dark and gritty now. And I'm like,
Listen,
no,
in the
please
90s, when all
don't.
comics were dark and gritty, one of the most successful times for comics. And now people are over it.
Yeah,
Because they're like, we want fucking fantasy again, because this shit is depressing and reminds me of horrible things, and I want...
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's like the Spider-Man comic where they try to make Spider-Man grim and edgy, and he ends up killing Mary Jane with his radioactive spider semen.
Yeah.
That was a different... that issue didn't come out.
Why did you have to do this? Why did you have to do
That
this?
exists.
That's gonna be the storyline for the porno you and I make, Zach.
There you go. Who's Mary Jane?
Yeah, who's Mary Jane?
Zach is, of course.
Wow. See that. I don't have red hair.
We need
We
to
can
like.
change that.
Listen, Wigs,
Wigs. Fair enough.
come on.
I
This
can
is
only
an exact
imagine like
science.
a terrible like filmed on an iPhone porno with just Zach in a red wig and Derek like hanging off of a jungle gym upside down as someone squirts them with a water bottle to try to recreate the scene.
There's just a few.
Yes.
You see the water bottle actually peek through the top.
Oh God.
Why are we not making this right now?
Yeah, we'll make it for $500.
I mean, here RTX is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be with each other for a couple days. Who knows how hot and steamy it's going to get in one of those rooms?
Who knows?
Could happen. Zach could wind up upside down. Who knows?
Yeah,
He probably will. At least he'll wind up passed out somewhere.
like that. Yeah,
Wink, wink,
Oh.
nudge, nudge.
yeah.
Did they start with the hotels yet? RTX?
The deals?
Yeah.
I don't. Apparently, yes, and they're really good this year.
Ooh.
I mean, that's what they've been saying like the last few years, though, right? So I'm just
Oh,
assuming
of course they're
going
going
to
to say
better.
the deals are amazing, but you save like $15.
I think
Yeah.
we already have the TFT like home base hotel room solved.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
And if you donate $9 million to our Kickstarter next year, we will have our very own aircraft carrier that we will take to our trip.
For just $5 billion, you may be on the aircraft carrier.
For just
You can't sleep on the bunk, but you can sleep on the top.
exactly.
Don't mind the planes.
Don't mind the planes or the tanks.
So I almost saw Zootopia this weekend.
Oh, why didn't
Instead,
you
we have
see
this
it?
place. It's very similar to Alamo Draft House. It's called Movie Tavern in my area.
Oh, that's cool.
It's, again, isn't that the greatest fucking idea of all time?
Yeah,
I enjoy
The food and the drink
Yeah.
while watching the movie.
Yeah.
I agree.
This
I
place
love it.
had probably the comfiest chairs I've ever sat in. They actually recline. They had automatic recliners. They come and bring you a cookie when the movie's almost over.
Yeah, that's
For $9.
That's the type of theater I went to when I saw Deadpool the second time. Like fully automated, like reclining seats, and there's a little tray you can put your food and drinks on that kind of sits in front of you. And like you can kick your feet up actually because they're recliners, like reclining chairs. So you kick your feet up, and there's still plenty of space for someone to walk in front of you. And then the chairs are tiered so that you never have someone else's head in your way.
It's beautiful.
It was amazing.
Beautiful. And
God.
there's always people's heads in my way because I'm very small.
Oh, and this theater did something. This theater did something I'd never seen before too. You know how when you like get a plane ticket, you have to choose the seat out of the available seats?
Yes, we have the same thing.
This theater does the same thing. Yeah, you walk up and it has a big display of the theater and says, okay, touch the chair you want to sit in. And it shows you which ones are taken and which ones are not. And it prints out your seat right on your ticket so that you can't argue with someone over which chair you're going to sit in. You're assigned your seat. And because there's no bad seats in the house, it's fucking epic. Brilliant.
Yeah. That is brilliant. I wish I would probably go to the theater more often if that was the experience.
I know, like, once you start doing it, once one of those are close to you, you can't go back.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go back to a regular theater.
You
can't
can't
be with
change.
the peons.
You can't change ever.
And the tickets are $9. I mean, the food is a little pricey, but still.
Yeah. The thing I like about
Fantastic.
the Draft House is the fact that they play like very indie stuff. Like they had the Ruby previous season finale there, or like the entire series. And then they had
amazing.
like the last two episodes of Hellsing Ultimate's dub in the theater there, which is cool. Only problem
Yeah,
though
cool.
is that I don't want I'll give you a story about that. Where there's Hellsing dub for episodes 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
There was a specific scene in the dub where it's very dark, and I'm like sitting there, and the waitress comes up, and she's like, "Oh, would you like this or this?" And I'm like, "Oh, can I get this?" And then she like turns and looks at the screen, and I'm like, "No, don't look at that. Don't judge what I'm watching."
Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, wait, come back. I want this other thing.
No,
That's
no,
for
no.
drink.
Shh, don't look at the screen. Shh.
I'll take 4 Cokes. 4 Cokes. Yes, that's right, 4 Cokes.
But yeah,
You heard
I don't
me.
know. There's certain things that the dynamic of having a waiter or waitress for you in a movie is kind of strange.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like it'd
And
be
they
super
perfected their
awkward
craft where
to-
they're ducking and like, oh, you want this? Yes, okay, you got this. Then you're like, yeah, get out, movie time.
Well, it'd be like super
That's why
awkward
you
if
get.
you're like,
Well, that's why you get there early.
yeah,
You get your food in before the movie even starts.
Yeah.
But if like a sex scene comes on in a movie, and you're like,
Well,
you just want to
think
kind of
about
like
it. They've
not
seen
know
this.
people you're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want someone
Yeah.
recognizing
Sir,
that you
why
are
are your
there.
pants off? I'm not here to ask questions.
Yeah, fair enough. It just
Instead of
feels
Zootopia, we went to go see Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Oh, that looked funny. How was it?
Really funny. It's really good. It wasn't like a direct comedy, but it was like, it's drama, comedy, like all the kind of like good stuff.
I'm like, yeah, because it had what's her face in it, and she's known
Tina
for
Fey.
her. Yeah, Tina Fey. She's known for her quirky comedy. So
For
like,
being like the best ever. And Martin Freeman was in it, and he's a quirky character, and I love him, so strongly recommend it.
Okay, I'll have to check it out at some point.
We went to go see it because Zootopia was sold out. Plus, I actually felt a little weird wanting to drink beer while watching a children's movie while surrounded by children.
I had no problem with
I felt
that.
a little weird about that.
Nope. None whatsoever.
Tejan having
Like,
a normal
Holly
reaction.
was
You just
telling
have to
me,
not
like-
give a
like-
shit about what other people are thinking about you, and just say, I'm going to go and I'm going to watch this movie and I'm going to drink my beer and I'm going to have a good time. Fuck all y'all.
That's what Holly said. She was like, "You're crazy," and I'm like, "I don't want to drink it for you." And then we went up to the bar, and she's like, "Yeah, people go in there all the time. They don't give a shit."
Yeah.
As long as you don't
I
get
know.
drunk in a kid's movie, you should be fine. We're like, yeah, become a police officer, Rabbit. You did it.
You did it, Marty.
Oh, I can't
So
wait for
apparently, this
season
movie
2.
is like the furry's dream, though.
I
Yeah,
guess
not
so.
really.
There have been a lot of articles about furries breaking out into group orgies and stuff, apparently.
Wait, what?
None of that is probably true, but still.
Yeah, it's probably all just hype. And
I
that's
think
like
it's
the
like
article.
it's like one of those like ways to slam the movie. It's like, oh, it's encouraging furries and blah blah blah. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Furries don't
Yeah.
need encouraging.
Exactly.
The wind could blow.
It's like that's
You
what
know?
fan fiction's for. You make a furry version of anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it was just like I saw this article like 17 times. I'm like, it's probably like chaos. There's like three like random weirdos, like three of them, and it's like
Yeah. It's the whole what was that the disease that everyone was afraid they were gonna get a little while ago? What?
Ebola, so
Ebola.
starts with a Z.
Zika. There's like tons.
Well,
of
that's the thing. Well, it was serious down in Brazil,
Yeah, but not in the United States.
which is the scares because that's where the Olympics are about to take place.
And everybody was like, "Oh my God, Ebola's in the United States. We're all gonna die. Everybody panic!" And it was like all over the news. And like, if you were to trust the news, like every other person's got a grandmother or something that's dying from Ebola because it's just everywhere. But in reality, it was like a handful of people.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
like
kind of
traveled
like
to
that.
Africa and didn't
Yeah.
follow proper procedures and that kind of thing. Like,
It's like every few months it's some new virus where it's like West Nile's gonna kill us all, bird
Something
flu is
about
gonna
the
kill us
Zika?
all, SARS
heard-
is
have
gonna
you-
kill us all, Ebola's
Yeah.
gonna kill us all, new virus Zika is gonna kill us all. It's like
yeah, it's
okay,
the Zika
sure it is.
virus.
Sure it is. Yeah.
Distraction stuff, really,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, probably. It's just they have nothing to fucking talk about on the news. So they're
Well,
like,
they do, but this is the stuff that you want people to pay attention to, so they're not paying attention to what else is going on.
Yeah.
You want people to have irrational fear about a thing that's never going to happen to them, so they aren't focused on the things that are actually awful.
like,
I mean, those things are definitely awful, the disease stuff, and we should be doing stuff about that, but it's like the scare tactics that are around it, again, all based off distraction.
it's the presentation of it.
Yeah.
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 But
fair enough.
speaking of furries, Zach introduced me to a YouTuber called Pyrocynical, and I recently watched his video of a bunch of furries in a park getting like memed on by a bunch of 12-year-old kids, and that was hilarious. So thank you, Zach, for showing
They
me
were
like
getting picked on by the 12-year-olds?
Yeah, it
How
was
did they not
really.
just beat the shit out of the 12-year-olds?
It's one of those things where you want to, but you can't because they're kids.
yeah.
But yeah, Zach, you've introduced me to like the most cringiest videos on the internet.
I've introduced you to like a new part of the internet that I recently discovered, which is both like Pyrocynical and Leafy is here. They're game commentators that splice in like just random videos of just very cringy ass shit, and some of it's like really disgusting and needs to be like pointed out, and other stuff it's like some of their fandom's more like more negative than they have to be. Like they do it for a joke and then that's it. They don't attack the person directly.
Yeah. They basically just show really cringy videos from around YouTube or other places and do like a joke commentary over it. And then there are a select few people in the fans that are like, haha, my new target for this year.
Yeah. Which
But yeah,
sucks, but
yeah.
it happens.
But
on
it's
the
still
internet.
they're very funny videos. Highly recommend.
Agreed.
It's kind of like a Tosh thing.
Kinda,
Kinda,
yeah. Except funny.
I can't
Yeah.
sit down. I mean, I've said this before, but I can't watch like those like cringe-inducing videos. I can't sit through them at all. Like, I don't even want to get. I don't want to watch other people just be complete idiots or just be like be stupid. You know, like
I
it's
was like you once, Tejan. I was, and
yeah,
then
I just
something
it's
broke
like people,
inside of me.
Like people share memes online of people saying like stupid things on Facebook, and I'm like, I know for a fact that that person's not stupid. That person is trolling, and you're sharing it all around like this is what's wrong with American people. I'm like, no, that guy's just being a jerk off.
Dude,
not
it's an
being
Onion
idiot.
article.
People
You
aren't
asshole.
that fucking stupid. I refuse to believe people are that fucking stupid. I
Some
believe just people
people-
are jerk offs.
Yeah, a lot of it's trolling, but some people are very much serious.
And
Some people
yeah.
say some very stupid things, but like the way these things spread and stuff like that, I'm like, their whole goal was to have this kind of thing happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, it's still very hard to watch a video of a grown man carrying around a body pillow in the middle of a city saying he's from Japan.
Yeah.
It's funny sometimes to watch. And other times
Was he
you
from
strain your
Japan?
neck from cringing too hard.
Yeah. There's a few. There's a few.
Oh yeah, that head turn of just the cringe, like you're like closing your eyes but you can't close.
My
Yeah.
reaction has always been to just plant both hands on my desk and I take deep breaths and try to just sweat out the cringe as it happens.
You sweat it out. You could do like push-ups or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I watch cringe videos and do push-ups at the same time.
Yeah.
Lets me sweat out the cringe.
It
Man,
helps
I
me
did
sweat out the
I did
cringe.
20 reps watching that video of that Norwegian woman who thinks she's a cat.
Oh
I
God!
did
Did you
20
watch
push-ups out
that?
of
that. Yeah, I
Oh
did.
man, that was I couldn't handle it, man. That was super difficult.
And it also
Ugh.
makes you feel kind of socially good. Where you're like, ugh, I've done some stupid shit socially in my time,
Yeah.
but at least I don't,
Pretend I'm a fucking
make lip
cat.
syncing vines of me and
Yeah.
make millions of dollars that way, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw this fucking thing the other day. It's a video. It's an Instagram of just this like woman who shoves her face into bread. It's
Oh.
just, that's it.
Yep.
It's just this really weird series of Instagram videos.
It's a
where
Korean
this
lady,
woman
right?
Takes a piece of bread and bangs her face into it.
Yeah. There's
It's
some
like
weird.
what?
that
What
has
is
an
this
audience.
experiment thing that you're creating right now?
It's because it has
There's
an
gotta
audience.
be like deeper levels to this experiment.
There's like food fetishists out there who like are totally into that shit, and she's just
This
making
woman apparently
millions of
claims
dollars.
There's no sexual.
Shove
anything
my
out of it.
face into dough.
Oh yeah, you like that sourdough, don't you? I don't know. It's just
I don't know. Yeah, it's strange.
the internet exposes so many different like. I had no idea that existed.
I had no idea there was a
I'm
40-year-old
disgusted.
man
Anything-
obsessed with Pac-Man.
Yeah.
If you can think of it, somebody's already thought of it and made a porno out of it. I believe that's a rule, right?
Probably.
I think so,
I believe that's the
probably.
34th rule.
The 34th of the rules.
Rules, yeah.
Now, where did these rules come from?
I don't know.
Like, what are rules 1 through 33?
Probably on some forum somewhere.
Ever since the internet. Was that the first page in the internet?
Yeah, the first page of the internet.
I found a book
I'm going to do a little research real quick.
at the local library that was, in all honesty, named Rule 34, and I almost died laughing. It's like, it has to be an old book, right? Like, no one would be, like, in the modern era would title a book Rule 34. And seriousness.
What was it
Yeah.
about?
I don't know. I think it was
You
like a
just
spy
picked it up and
novel,
laughed?
in all honesty.
Yeah. In all honesty, it was a spy novel.
I think it was like some sort of serious toned book, but it was named Rule 34, and I couldn't handle it.
Rules of the internet, man.
All right, yeah. Cash just sent these out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rules of the internet. Thank you.
2007?
Rule number 1. Apparently.
Yeah.
Rule number 3. When in doubt, it's a man on the internet.
Yeah, when in doubt, it's a
It's
man.
always a man.
Rule number 1, don't talk
When they say
about rules 2
ASL.
through 33.
Rules. Whoever created these, I mean, they stuck around.
brilliant.
I'm feeling like
dude.
this is something on like 4chan.
Probably.
I feel 4chan or
Rule 32, an internet
Reddit.
rule that states that it can be said with a picture.
4chan is
Interesting
like
stuff.
the primordial ooze of memes.
Have you ever spent time there?
4chan?
No, I refuse to go to 4chan.
I've been there a couple times.
How was it?
Eh.
Fair enough.
Like, I stepped in there once, and then I'm like, I got enough of this.
It's nice to
like-
visit, not nice to live.
Yeah.
No.
I've come around since for on Reddit anyway, because Reddit's like generally it's like grassroots news a lot of the time, and like everyone nowadays has a subreddit. So if it's a gaming company and they release something, they'll release it on Reddit first because there's a massive audience for that. So for news and all kinds of different various YouTubers or entertainment that you normally wouldn't be able to find sifting through the YouTubes, if you will, yourself, it can be found quite easily in
Reddit seems to be doing like that's the main content aggregator now these days. I mean, I didn't use Reddit for the longest goddamn time, and I just started using it finally.
And now we, as the forum thread, have a subreddit.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We have
Well,
a subreddit.
us posting
do.
on Reddit has gained us quite a lot of views.
Yeah.
Has it
Videos.
really?
Yeah, we're
Yes,
like
it
our
has,
War
yeah.
Thunder video gets like a couple hundred just from going to Reddit.
Yeah, and a lot of our League videos get a few hundred views as well when I
Yeah.
post to Reddit.
Now we're gonna
Yeah,
have
so
to
Reddit's a
start
pretty good thing.
putting like clickbait titles and thumbnails
Clickbait
if we want to get
thumbnails.
even more.
Yeah. And then we can just watch those cents roll in.
Does Helldivers suck? No.
No.
Is Panzer Medel's garbage? Nah.
Nah.
Like, well, that's all you have to do though. You create that title, and you're like, nah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what the news does. Is Barack Obama a Nazi? No.
No, of course not.
We're not
course
saying
not.
he's a Nazi.
No.
We're
But come
asking if
read
he
our
is.
article and listen to us talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You already know our opinion.
And actually, we are getting close to our hour. So, Tejan, if you wanted to tell everybody else about all the other cool places they can find us, this
Hey,
You can find us on 4chan at www.4chan/.
No, don't go there. It's icky. You have to take a shower
Don't go there.
afterwards.
Don't look for us there. That's where the TFT Lays, stuff comes from. That's where we put our ideas. So don't go there yet if you don't want to be spoiled by all our TFT Lays stuff there. Coming out soon? ? Thank you everybody for watching the TFT podcast. Thank you to our host, Weedabrow, for being an excellent host. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. Subscribe to the Forum Thread podcast. We have TFT Talks and Making the Rounds also appearing in that list. You can follow us on Twitter at the Forum Thread or at TFT Plays. That's our gameplay Twitter. TFT Productions or TFT Plays on YouTube. You can like us on Facebook. You can like us on Twitch. You can follow us on Vine. You can find us on Reddit. You can follow us on Instagram. We're everywhere.
Speaking of stuff coming out soon, Chaos's Minecraft series is coming out soon to TFT Plays.
Yay! Finally!
Preface, last year-ish, 2-ish years ago, we did a series of videos. This is Cass's idea, where we all got together, we played hardcore mode, and we just tried to get all the achievements, and we recorded doing it. It was fucking hilarious. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
Stuff
he made me do some voice work because apparently someone distorted my audio or something, or someone was talking over me. So yeah, I got to record a line that I had said, but free of
You
all
resaid
other
your
noise.
old line.
Yeah, he I don't even know how I said it originally. He just sent it to me in a text message, and he said, "Here, do this." And I'm like, "How?" He's like, "Sound this way." Okay.
You do that thing that they do in movies when a voice line gets cut or distorted. You have to do what is it called, ADR or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I just said it a bunch of times and then sent it to him. I'm like, "Here you go. Here's 3-4 takes. One of them
What was
has
the
to
line?
be good." It was a really weird line. I don't remember.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
So that one audio line that totally seems out of place. Cass says, "Don't say it." So the phrase was, "Don't say it."
Yeah, that was the
That's
line.
it. That's it. I confess. It was. Don't say it.
So stay tuned. I believe the video is releasing tomorrow? ?
I hope so.
Yes.
Maybe.
The first part is...
Yes.
He says
confirmed.
yes.
All right.
Our streamer says yes. So
And-
look forward to episode 1.
with that, guys, we will bid you all a good night, and we will see you again next week, same time. Good night, everybody.
Love you.